So, according to the case study, Canada is divided into different categories between groups, generation, and political views. The Angus Reid Institute has conducted a case study titled Canada and Culture Wars in the first of a multi-part series Canadian Way and on the nation's divided discourse to explain Canadians' perspective on a variety of issues including gender, race, indigenous issues, and the legacy of colonization and freedom of speech, which this topic has been labeled as culture wars. Um, through the through this case study, Angus Reid Institute classifies Canadian into five major categories based on how they relate to the cultural discourse. This release focused on Canadians see the culture wars, communications, conflict solution, and censorship, as well as cancel culture. Depending on where they fit on the culture spectrum, Canadian may view this issue as significant, educational, or even insignificant. So this paper we will explore how the three classical theories, including the structural functionalism, conflict theory, and symbolic interactionalism, are being applied to case study, which discusses Canada's culture wars. It intends to broaden our understanding of how culture debates shape society and how diverse groups experience societal challenges. By the use of these theories, we can gain better insight into the purpose of society at different levels, including how structures give stability, power influences conflicts, and everyday interaction create meanings and control opinions. So overall, the application of these theories can help us better understand the strength, difficulties, and impact of cultural division and debates towards Canadian society. So I'll start with structural functionalism. So functionalism is being developed by Emil Durkheim, and according to the book or Reville Weaver 2022, functionalism views society as a team that works together in which each part has a responsibility to maintain stability and order. In this case study by Grozensky 2023, it implies that functionalism view culture war as something that can help society to comprehend challenges and to maintain balance and order. And looking through functionalism through lens of Han and his colleague 2022, it highlights that culture war result in negative consequence, such as creating tensions, agitations, and even physical conflict. However, the culture wars created opportunity for societies to respond, adapt policy, and reinforce standard norms, which brings attention to significant issue, letting society consider traditional norms and progressive ideas. Through these viewpoints, it serves a function in society by provoking dialogue, showing conflict in values, and facilitating adjustment. While the process can be harmful or uncomfortable, the engagement procedure helps society identify the issue, come up with resolutions, and keep long-term balance. This suggests that despite tension and disturbances, culture wars help society in recognizing issue and in establishing standards and sustaining stability. So the second one is conflict theory. So according to the book or Reveille Weber 2022, conflict theory, which is derived from Karl Marx, argues that there are various power challenges and inequalities in society. The case study emphasizes how culture war debates in gender, identity, transgender issues, climate and the economy, colonialism, and indigenous issues. Race, ethnicity can trigger or cause the tension between groups with different interests and level of power. So I conduct a article. So according to Psychology Town 2024, conflict arises when different groups seize their purposes, values, and interests is not aligning or incompatible. This emphasizes that each group believes that the others may threatens the way of life and values, leading to conflict or tensions over limited resources, opposing ideas, and even competing desires for recognition and power. The case study explained why different groups strongly oppose each other, because each party tries to protect their own belief and control society. As an outcome, disagreement among groups becomes intense, as they want to influence society according to their prepared way of life and what they think is right and the best for them. Through the lens of the book by Reveille Weber 2022, Symbolic Interactionalism, which originated by Max Weber, asserts that society is formed through everyday interaction that focus on how people provide meanings and opinion. Through the case study by Krasinski 2023, symbolic interactionalism can look at how daily engagement generates various meanings that influences culture wars. So according to Ripskis 2023, the culture war is not just a dispute over beliefs or politics, but it is a serious life consequence, which means costing people's lives. These culture wars involve issues like critical race, restriction or transgender rights, banning reproductive rights, abolition of diversity, restriction of medical care in all ages, as well as anti-woke movement, which is related to deeper conflicts in society. Through symbolic interactionalism, it explains that this creates tension because different groups interpret the topic through their own culture, lens, and prepared beliefs. For instance, one group might see protecting culture or tradition. Another group might see it as discrimination, and another group might see it as a freedom, while another group might see it as a harm. So overall, the case study illustrates that Canadian culture was complex social debate given that it is influenced the values, identity, and experience. Therefore, by applying theories which include functionalism, conflict theory, and symbolic interactionalism, we can better understand how this disagreement utilize the different level of society. Through functionalism, it explained how culture wars, regardless of tension, push to notice and recognize problems, challenges, and adjust to norm to maintain the balance and order. While conflict theory demonstrate how power inequality and competing interest groups escalate cultural division and build debates over issues such as gender, race, politics, and more on. On the other hand, symbolic interactionalism emphasizes how everyday interaction create meanings and how others can interpret opinions and influence how individuals comprehend culture and why debate can affect daily life. In summary, these theories disclose that culture war is not just an argument, but a social process that shapes balance, power, interactions, and social change. By understanding these lenses, it allows us to broaden our understanding and view both the adversities and opportunities that culture war create within a diverse society.